Hi guys, this week we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. I've seen a lot of things lately about panicked writers on forums going, "Oh, it's all over. It's a game over. Artificial intelligence. It's written a screenplay. There's that one that can draw art. Oh, we're being replaced. It's all gone." Let's look at some of the reasons that I don't believe this will happen. People have no interest in computer generated content as a rule. That's why there isn't galleries for computer generated content, right? They're for human endeavour. People are interested. We have self-driving cars, but the Formula One still has drivers. So it's not really a computer can do something better, so we're just instantly going to have the computer do it. Let's look at the infrastructure around it as well. So we've got writers. There's no scarcity of screenplays. We have heaps and heaps and heaps of writers all pounding out spec scripts, just begging for them to be sold. Sometimes studios own an asset, they own an idea, they'll employ a writer to write it. That may be replaced by AI at a stretch. I don't think so as well, because it is the take which people get hired for. You'll hear professional writers say all the time, "Oh, well, I went into the studio and pitched my take on the novel. I would cut out this storyline. I would focus on this. I would do this. I do." So it's people's take. It's how artistically we adapt something. The function of writing a screenplay, sure, a computer can do that. You could follow Save the Cat or any of those guru formulas, but it's not going to have a unique artistic expression about it. But let's get back to the infrastructure. You've got a million writers pounding away on keyboards, producing a million screenplays. They then get filtered out, they go to agents. Those agents would disappear if the writers aren't needed anymore. The development executive would disappear because they work with the agents or they find scripts that could do with some development. So all the development executives gone. So what we're talking about here is getting something to a producer quickly. So it would also impact studios, because studios can find funding. They could hold on to an asset, a screenplay, and put a director with a producer and put it out because they've got some infrastructure. But with AI coming in, they don't have to worry about agents anymore. They don't have to worry about that filtering process. They don't have to do that. The director and the producer could just find funding themselves and hit the button on the computer and keep getting screenplays. That one will do, and work and just go and make stuff. So it'll also impact the studios. So I don't think anyone there is going to be rushing out to pay for AI. And the other thing is AI needs to be paid for. People have to constantly educate it. And this is also the problem with AI. I've worked in machine learning and AI, but it has to learn. You give it a series of documents to read. It will go through, it will read, it consumes, it finds patterns, it goes off to the corpus of the language, it comes together, you give it an idea, and it can build things based on existing expressions, based on existing knowledge. And that's vast. So it can look like it's coming up with new stuff. But new things take the randomness of human beings into account. So what we're going to have is a propagation of the existing status. We will not get new things. There was a sentencing computer to assist judges in coming up with sentencing guidelines based on a person's criminal record, based on other convictions in the area for people like that. So it would suggest to the judge what it thought would be appropriate to come up with a fairer, AI-based, and it didn't last very long. And this is from a news article I read online ages ago, so I don't have sources, I can't cite, I won't put a link. But Google, you'll find this. They had to stop it because it was giving black people convicted that were African American larger sentences, because historically that had happened, and it was working off historic premises to produce this going forward. The other thing too is there is no possibility for uniqueness. There is, it will produce different things, but it'll be the one weapon that all studios will have. Think about that for a sec. If I type in Batman t-shirt with a 20-cent logo in the corner and a DC logo in the other, and hit generate, it'll generate a story like this. If the guy next door to me does exactly the same thing, it generates the same story for him. There is no way for uniqueness anymore. So then it becomes, what keywords do you use? How do you start training it? Then the training becomes the thing. It's not the writing anymore. So the technology starts slipping into technology. It doesn't no longer become this artistic endeavor. This also takes power away from the studios because the studios aren't needed. It puts that power in the hands of us, right? We can generate these AI stories. Think about it. The explosion in spec scripts are going to be incredible. So some guy who doesn't really know how to write, or some woman who doesn't really know how to, a person doesn't know how to write, gets there, puts their log line in, generate me a story, and they read it and go, yeah, that's not bad. And they start sending it out to everybody. I'll put another log line in, generate another story, start sending them out. So as fast as you can generate a log line, you can generate a screenplay. That sounds like dystopian screenwriting world, doesn't it? So there'll be a flood. This will force people to go back to the artisan, to sort of say, do you own the copyright for this? Was this unique artistic expression? Show me what you've done. And it will change the world. It will change the world. But it's not going to destroy the writing class. Writers will continue to exist, mostly because we have an interest in human beings. We want to see what humans do. We celebrate racing car drivers, even though the engineers built the faster car. We celebrate powerboat drivers, even though it's down to who built the faster boat. Humans are interested in what other humans have to say, a human's take on thing. We go see a band because all the songs are very similar, or they have a similar feel or a similar sort of look in their performance, in their sound, and the guitars they may use. We're interested in fellow humans. AI will be integrated, but it's not going to replace. Hollywood will avoid it and should avoid it because it removes uniqueness. It removes a barrier to entry, as I always talk about. Anyone who can buy that tech, and this tech is free a lot of the time, can produce screenplays. So the studio next door to you will have exactly the same weapons and tools and resources as you do. Human beings will be the unique factor. They'll be the divider. They'll be the thing that make people say, well, I like that studio because it's this. And you go to Etsy and people buy handmade things that aren't as good as the mass-produced stuff from a factory in China, but it's handmade. You can feel the art. You can feel the creator's hands on this work. And that's what it's going to be like for writing as well. Computer-generated writing is only really going to... It may wipe out the, I've got an idea, I've written one screenplay, I think I should be introduced to the CEO of Disney. It may get rid of those people because there'll be just so many scripts. It'll become knowledge that you can't compete against computer-generated scripts. But as soon as you start to become more unique and less formulaic, the computers will not be able to compete with those sorts of people, and they will be probably more highly valued in the future of AI writing. As always, guys, if you would be so kind to do the things, we've had some good comments and we're getting heaps of thumbs ups and that sort of stuff. If you've got any questions, nick over to Griffiths Creative, go to the contact us and you can put in, I can review your log lines there. They'll appear on the show. If you've got any questions, leave them there. Craig D. Griffiths on all the social media as well. And until next time, guys, keep writing. Bye.